Grand Rising, and peace to all the gods and goddesses of planet Kai, and peace to all the divine beings and chosen ones all around the world, family. I'm sending y'all high vibrational energy and gratitude along y'all journey. If these videos resonate with y'all, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share these videos to others out there who, want to know the meaning of this whole movie. They cloned Tyrone. And just share this video to those who's unaware of what's been going on within our society, because this movie break down a lot. So divine intellect signing in. Let's get into it. So I'm kind of, I know I'm kind of behind y'all. This movie came out last year. I'm just now being able to catch up on it. I seen it like a month ago. They cloned Tyrone. So I'm gonna get into it. Now the main characters in this movie is Yo-Yo, which is supposed to be the prostitute, the pimp Slick Charles, which plays Jamie Foxx, and Fontaine, who is at the end is Tyrone, but in the movie with him living in the Glen, his name was Fontaine, and he also have other clones of himself as well, because Fontaine was also an elder scientist as well, and he also played as he was also a driver for Nixon, and his driver name was Chester. But let's get into it. Okay, so at the beginning of this movie, Fontaine, he a drug dealer, right? So Fontaine, he literally was with Lil Junebug. That's the kid that he was riding with, the little kid that was always around him, because he represented his brother who passed. His Fontaine had a brother who passed away that was killed due to police brutality. So Lil Junebug was kind of around him a lot as a reminder to, like, he reminded him of his brother that passed. So he always spent a lot of time with Junebug too in his neighborhood in the Glen. So he realized that it was a drug. It was like a rival, another drug dealer who was in competition with him. That he saw Junebug pointed him out in the beginning of the movie, like towards the beginning. Like he found the drug dealer somewhere. He found him in the streets, ran him over, and basically after he had ran him over, the drug dealer had called he called Isaac. That's one of his another gang member rival of Fontaine. He called Isaac, said, "Man, he ran me over. This motherfucker tried to kill me. Whoop de whoop." So he let Isaac know what was going on. So later that night, Fontaine ended up going to the same. He ended up going to Slick Charles hotel room. Like he was in the parking lot of Slick Charles hotel room, because he was finna get ready, I guess, to come asking for the money or whatever that Slick Charles owed him for whatever. I think it was for some drugs, whatever it was. And Isaac people and the guy who he ran over towards the beginning of the movie had came back, showed back up, and shot Fontaine and killed him. They was letting off shots. And supposedly, after that had happened, it was on the next part of the scene. If y'all seen the movie, like the next part of the scene, Fontaine realized that he was at the liquor store the next day. Now, he was supposed to have been dead, but obviously he had got cloned, because like the next day he pulled up to he realized himself, and this was the clone version of him. He realized he was going to the liquor store to get his liquor like he always do, and pour Frog, which is the elderly wise man, his drink, basically. Pour him some of the beer or liquor as well. Like after he get his scratch off, after Fontaine get his scratch off tickets and his scratch off ticket and his beer, he would pour Frog some. But he started to notice himself. He realized that was himself, which was actually the real him. Like the clone version of Fontaine realized the real Fontaine was walking up the street, like staggering and with blood all on his shirt, because that was the real him who had got shot up that night. So he was walking in, he realized like it was a black truck, a black Suburban that pulled up, and this be the CIA and these government agents. So they pulled up, they picked up the real Fontaine and took him back to those cloning facilities, and so that way he could be underground. And the Fontaine that realized that what was going on, he was looking strange, like, hold on, that he looked familiar. What the fuck? Like, what's going on? But that was his clone realizing that. So you got to know that these people can also use the clone. They can also take DNA from the original vessel of the original copy or the original person, and use that to replicate that within the clone. So you'll still have memories of who you are, things you used to do when you're a whole clone. This shit is real. You know, they actually clone motherfuckers for real. Like, this is real. There's no fairy tale. Like, they put all this shit in the movies for us to see. So when Fontaine pulled back up to Slick Charles' hotel, he knocked on the door, and Slick Charles, which was the pimp, Jamie Foxx, he looked through the peephole. He like, what the fuck? Like he was like, it's like he lost. It's like he didn't know what the fuck. He was shocked. Like, what the fuck? I thought this motherfucker was dead. Oh hell no! You know, like he was like spooked the fuck out because he thought Fontaine was supposed to been dead, right? But he realized that he came back and he was like, motherfucker, I thought you was dead. I literally saw you last night. They put bullet holes in your ass, shot your whole car up and everything. So how the fuck is you here right now? You supposed to be breathing through tubes right now. How the fuck is you walking and still breathing? Like he was like spooked the fuck out. But that was the clone version of Fontaine. And what happened was they came together because they just couldn't understand what the fuck, how, like Jamie Foxx couldn't understand like how the fuck is you still living. So they came together. They even brought Yo-Yo with them, which was a prostitute, one of Jamie Foxx prostitutes, Yo-Yo. And you see how they try to do our people, like put us, like keep us in that mindset of feeling like all we could be is pimps, prostitutes, drug dealers. Man, that's below it. That's the least. We're way more than that. That don't even describe who we are. But you see how they make that in the movie, basically because that's how they got a lot of our people misled out here. But anyway, they came together, all three of them, and they realized Fontaine, as they started riding around trying to find answers, they pulled up to Fontaine's. They pulled up to an area. I guess it was at Fontaine's neighborhood, and they happened to see across the street, it was that same black Suburban that picked Fontaine up, and he started realizing, like, hold on, that Suburban looked familiar. So they all got out. They went across the street to go into that house, and it was an empty house. Like, it was nobody in there. It was vacant. But as they went in there, they saw a break room. They saw food and stuff around, like it was people in there. And like I said, this is where these government agents and these CIA agents be at. And they start to look around like, what the fuck is going on? They noticed a break room, and then they happened to see an elevator as well that led them down into the laboratory where they was putting coke. I think it was like cocaine, different substances, and a lot of chemicals and things they was using to create the clones, do stuff to the food, like the meat, the hair products, all this stuff that they were shipping out to the store. So when they got on the elevator and went down there, they happened to saw Fontaine's body, like the real him that got shot up. And that shit spooked the fuck out of Fontaine because he couldn't believe that was actually him who was dead. So they ended up killing one of the scientists that was down there, the guy that was dancing to that Michael Jackson Can't Stop Till You Get Enough on the scene. They ended up shooting him. Then they ended up getting out of there after that had happened. So they was just trying to figure shit out. Like, how the fuck are you still living? Like, how the fuck? They was all shocked and disbelief. But they didn't know the whole time Fontaine was a clone. They didn't know that. And he couldn't like understand that either because, like I said, they took all of his memory and everything in his cells and DNA from the real version of him to make the clone version of him. So he thought everything was just normal, right? So then they started realizing things. They ended up, after that situation happened, they went to this chicken spot. It's like a chicken joint on the movie. It's like this restaurant. And they started eating the chicken, and they noticed that the guy, the owner of the place, he looked like one of those clones as well. Like, he had a fro and everything. Like, he was the guy, the manager or owner, whatever he was. I think he was the manager in there. And they noticed like the vans it was like these white vans that was coming to ship the product, ship the chicken in, and these the same people associated with these people with these underground labs and shit like that in these facilities. Like I told you, when they got on that elevator and went down, that was a whole cloning lab, a whole facility, underground bunker, and they have that shit out here for real. It's underground for bunkers and everything around you where these scientists and these agents are working and working on our DNA and working on our people and examining us, like the African Americans as they label us today. But you know, they was examining and studying our parts, our cells, our body, trying to figure out what they can do to keep control of us mentally, physically, and spiritually. So yeah, that shit real. So they realized that, like, oh shit, you know, this meat it's something not right. Like they start to realize like, hold on, something not right. Cause when Yo-Yo went to the back with the owner, she saw the same cocaine or white substance that they had saw that night when they went down when they was in that vacant house and went down on the elevator to that lab. She realized like, hold on, this the same substances that they putting in the meat. I mean, this same stuff that we saw at the this the same white substance that we saw in that lab when we was in that vacant house the other night. So Jamie Foxx stopped for a minute. He realized as he was eating the chicken, he realized everybody around him was just laughing and laughing. And he ended up realizing like, oh shit, they putting these substances in the meat to keep people coming back and coming back and coming back to eat this shit and keeping people hooked to it like a drug. So he basically knocked the shit off his table and then they left. After they left, they ended up going to the it was like a beauty shop where a woman was doing hair, and they realized that these same people that was in the vans that was bringing in these products and these chemicals was the same people that was bringing in the hair products and different things that they also saw down in that vacant house when they went down on the elevator. So they was letting you know that they controlling the grease, the chemicals, the hair products. They putting shit in the food just like they doing out here in real life. They just showing you all the shit that they do, but they put it in movies to make you think that it ain't true. But this shit really real. They put shit in our food. They put shit in hair products to keep us all programmed, keep us lost, keep us trapped in this matrix. So they really just showing you this shit in the movie. They put all the truth in the movies. So when they realized that was going on, then they ended up, Fontaine ended up getting taken off in the van because he jumped in the van to see what was really going on. Like how the hell, what are they shipping? What's going on? So he was being curious. So he ended up, not Fontaine, but Slick Charles, Jamie Foxx. He ended up in the van because he was trying to be curious. While Fontaine and Yo-Yo was together just talking, they got sidetracked. So the van ended up leaving and Jamie Foxx was in the back. So they ended up riding off with Jamie Foxx. And Fontaine and Yo-Yo was still at the hair product place. So they ended up having to leave from there to try to find that van. They got in Fontaine's car, went riding around through the Glen to look for that van. They ended up finding the van and ended up getting Jamie Foxx out the back of the van. And he was at a church. So when they got the key card, they basically had to play this role of like they was coming to go to church because they was like, what the hell is this van doing at the church? So once they got the key card, they had went to the church. They basically played it off, dressed up like they was going to church, and because they saw the van at the same place. So when they went there, they played church. They realized that after service had ended, they played it off. They was the last ones in the church, and they waited around until everybody left. I don't know how they did it, but they was basically like hiding or playing like they was asleep. But everybody in the church had left. So, and you know, church is also them letting you know like how these pastors are also attached to these occults and also working with these government agents and different things of that nature, because in order for them to own churches and buildings, they have to be attached and be working with these folks as well, because you can't own nothing until you go through them. And a lot of these pastors are Freemasons and work with the satanic occult, and a lot of them are involved with like sex trafficking and different things of that nature as well, to help these motherfuckers, to help these sick races and these oppressors and different government agencies, because they partake in sex trafficking, like the Pizzagate shit. They were showing us how that is something that take place. So when they used the key card, they was after church service ended, they basically was and they literally had used the key card to swipe the thing at the altar, because a lot of these altars, like a lot of these churches are on energy points or energy towers where they drain a lot of energy. So they build a lot of churches on these energy centers, on these energy points, because they're like energy towers. So just think about all the people that's in the church that shouting, crying, donating all their energy, and the pastor is like I say, he's a warlock or a witch in a Freemasonry. So a lot of that energy, when these people are crying and shouting out, it gets sucked, it get drained from them, it get harvested. So a lot of that energy is, a lot of these warlocks and witches are practicing sorcery to drain all this energy, right? Because like I said, the church is like it's a whole energy tower. So all that energy is being drained when everybody's in these churches and donating all their energy. So whenever they had got the key card or whatever, right, they used it at the altar. And somehow the altar it was like a elevator or something right there where it flipped. It was something that happened where it took them down, like down up under the church. Cause I told y'all all this shit is connected. Like it's all connected. Even the church is underground shit. Even in these churches too. Just like it was in that house that was across the street from Fontaine's house, in that vacant place they went in when they went underground on the elevator, like I mentioned. But that also happened as well when they was in the church. They went down, they started realizing like, what the fuck going on down here? Like, cause they like when they went to the altar, they like this supposed to be a church, but you got underground shit going on here too. Yeah, because though that same van, they all connected with everything around you. So it's like it's the same people, these CIA agents, this government, they set all these places up as a way to harvest people. I mean, harvest people energy. Somewhat use this energy to, traffic people, all type of shit. So, they went down on the elevator. Not the elevator. Yeah, I think it was like an elevator. It was something that took them underground up under the church. I told y'all, like it was something that took them under there. They started realizing it was clone. It was different people down there being under mind control. Like they was using all type of shit to basically alter people's minds, put them under MK Ultra. All this shit goes on. They was just showing us all this on the movie. They was doing experimenting to see what makes people happy, what makes people sad, what make people come together. They was like literally experimenting on all this shit to basically let you know that they controlling your mind mentally with all of this shit. And then also the church shit is also attached to sex trafficking as well, because like it was some shit that really happened in real lifetime and too, where it was this pastor holding these kids hostage. And like how pastors, it be some pastors that get exposed for fucking with kids and all type of shit too. These popes, all that shit, they was just letting you know how all that shit is really going on for real. Like it's sick and it's demonic, and they do this shit to help these reptilians, these oppressors. They all in cahoots together, working together. But yeah, that's the reason why a lot of these pastors be able to get these churches and shit like that. And then they even moved to the scene to where after they had left out of the experiment labs and the cloning labs and shit, because that was a whole cloning facility. Remember, they realized all those people that was in like these bunkers or locked up, and they had clones all around, showing you how they cloning people out here and killing them off and basically cloning them. And then how they was coming in with that van. They was literally using that black Suburban. I mean, not van, but the black Suburban they was using to come around and pick up certain people that they was able to kill off. So are home to where they can pick them up and take them down in them facility and down there to them facilities and labs to reprogram their minds and reprogram their consciousness, put them under MK. Just like how they was doing also in that movie Get Out, they showed us that. But they showing you how all this shit take place. So after they had left the church, remember they ended up, Fontaine, Yo-Yo, and Slick Charles, they had ended up at the strip at this club. So this where they was showing you how the music affect our people and affect through the frequencies. They use that to affect your consciousness and your mind. So they had ended up going to the club, remember? And a lot of people in the club was up under a trance when they was walking in there. When Fontaine and Slick Charles, they was all at first. Slick Charles was starting to dance and get in that move, and he was starting to groove because he was feeling the music. See, the frequencies was affecting him. That's when Yo-Yo was like, snap out of that shit, snap out of it. So once they started realizing like, oh shit, the frequencies is controlling us, let's get out of here. Because that's when the DJ started slowing down, start trying to change the frequency to have everybody go against them, because Fontaine, Slick Charles, and Yo-Yo was becoming aware of what the fuck was going on. So they was using the DJ to slow down the music to put everybody up under a trance to try to like attack them or put all of their attention on Yo-Yo, Fontaine, and Slick Charles, because they noticed that they was aware of what was going on. Everybody else was up under the mind control, up under the frequencies, because they control our mentality and our mind frame and try to control our people and how we think due to the frequencies and the music as well, right? They were showing you how they do that. So Fontaine, Slick Charles, Yo-Yo, they tried to leave. They started leaving out. They tried to get in the car to crank the car up because all those people was rushing them because they was all up under mind control to attack them. So all them people started rushing that car that they had stole and jumped in to try to leave, and the car started breaking down once they got down like middle, I think like down the middle of the road. It had broke down and they was like, shit, because they was trying to escape. They was trying to get away. All these people coming to attack them. So then they had realized like, whoa, it's like, damn, these people, like, they put their gun up. They was like, Slick Charles, Fontaine. Well, Fontaine put the gun up, and Slick Charles like, get the fuck back before I shoot y'all ass. And everybody had backed up slowly, remember? Then when they had got out the car, they realized everybody was just in a trance, just sitting there, right, just looking. So once they sat there for a minute, that's when Chester, which is another clone of Fontaine, and Nixon pulled up. And Nixon was a racist. He was like I think it was a Canadian or something. He was a racist though, but he was basically Chester was his driver, was basically his lifter, riding him around, driving him around, or whatever. So he had once Chester had got out, Fontaine looked at him like, damn, he looked just like me. You know, the clone version of Fontaine. He realized Chester was a clone of him. So basically, Nixon was basically just letting them know like we control everything. He was telling them the truth about how the system and everything, cause they controlling everything, controlling the minds of the people, going making us all go against each other. Basically African Americans, and basically controlling our people. Basically that's what they title us as. But you know what I'm saying. So he was basically just breaking all that shit down. So the clone version of Fontaine was they was all going against Yo-Yo and Fontaine and Slick Charles. They was going against Nixon, talking they shit back like fuck you, this and that, like. And that's when Slick, you remember when Nixon had made Fontaine take the gun and put it in his mouth, because as a clone he let you know like how these oppressors have that much power to control people. That's how they can control these clones. How the oppressors can control these clones, these government agents, because they put them up under MK Ultra. When you a clone, you don't have no control over yourself. They can snap in at any moment, put you under MK Ultra, just like how they were showing us on Get Out. Like it's the same thing. It's like they put him up under MK to try to make him kill himself. So after that scene, they had went back. Fontaine was kind of like he didn't want to really do the shit no more. He didn't want to see no more truth. He wanted to just quit, just give up, because he had seen enough, and he realized that being aware would cause these motherfuckers like anybody else. When you become aware out here and start speaking out, it makes the system look at you as a target. And Fontaine, he didn't want to be a target no more. Yo-Yo was like, snap out of that shit, man. Like, come on now, like be a man. And Fontaine he just was out of it. He didn't want to do this shit no more. It was just a lot when he realized all this shit that was going on. But that was the clone Fontaine. He realized also that what made him want to get back and want to step back into exposing the truth and finding out more truth, because at first he didn't want to no more. But what made him come back with Yo-Yo and Slick Charles and discover more was when he realized that his mother was gone, and the whole time it was just a voicemail speaking to kind of make him think that his mother was in the room. The whole time his mother been dead. Like the clone was unaware of that. The clone Fontaine didn't know that his mother had died. Because when they clone you, they basically show you how they get rid of your whole physical family. So they killed off his mother too, but he thought she was still alive and was in the room, because he would ask her, did she want something to eat? And she would say on the voicemail, if y'all seen the movie, I already ate, baby. I eat the fish fry, whatever. But there was a whole voicemail going on, but he was unaware because he really thought that was his mother. So Jamie Foxx, Slick Charles, Yo-Yo, which is the prostitute, and Slick Charles, and they all came back together after a while when Fontaine realized, like, hold on, man, this shit is deeper than what I thought. Like he a whole clone. He being experimented on. So once he started realizing that, he started trying to come together with his rival, which is Isaac, another gang member. He was trying to come together with him. Like, hey, we got to come together and do something about this shit. They got underground facilities and shit going on up underground where they controlling our people's minds and trying to kill us off and clone us and all type of shit that's going on up under these labs. And so Isaac was laughing at him like, listen to this dumb nigga, because obviously this shit sound funny. It just sounds like some made up shit when you're not aware of what's really going on behind the scenes within this matrix. So it looked like it sound like, oh, he bullshitting. This shit sound made up. It's like it don't sound authentic, it don't sound real, but this shit really is going on for real. So at the end, if y'all notice, they had grabbed up, like towards the end, they had grabbed up Yo-Yo. They had picked up Yo-Yo because she was one of the prostitute girls that was in the hood. Because Slick Charles and Fontaine, they came together after that, and they was trying to find Yo-Yo, but they snatched Yo-Yo up, remember? She had got picked up in that same black Suburban where I told you, where they pick you up, these CIA agents, government agents, they take you down to these facilities and try to reprogram your mind once you become aware of the shit that's going on within this matrix. So they was trying to reprogram her mind, and that shit didn't work, but they was trying to, because whole time they was doing different shit to her hair and trying to put different things within her, but whole time that wasn't even her real hair they was touching. That wasn't even her scalp, because they was trying to put that chemical shit within the hair stuff that they was using to try to put her up under mind control and also alter her thinking and put her in this room, like this room where they reprogram your whole mindset and different things, and basically take you back to default before you was able, like basically reprogram her mind to default back to scratch, to where she was not going to be aware of none of the shit that she witnessed or be aware of nothing that went on. But that's when Jamie Foxx and Fontaine, they was trying to find her. Slick Charles and Fontaine, they was like, hold on, we got to find her. So they was riding, asking the prostitutes, like, where's she at? And they basically was able to find her underground. And that's when they all came together, had to come up with a plan and figure this shit out. And that's when Fontaine was basically like the clone Fontaine basically kept dying so he can keep going to those facilities to see how they can come up with a plan to attack and how they can set shit up. And towards the ending, if y'all notice, like they all Jamie Foxx, once Fontaine was in that facility in the lab, not Jamie Foxx, but once Fontaine was in the facility in the lab, that's when Jamie Foxx, Slick Charles, had to go through the hood, try to bring the gang members together, bring everybody together so that they can get inside of those underground labs. Remember, they had went to the liquor store, because even the liquor store was connected to those underground facilities as well. This shit is sick, boy, I'm telling you. So they was able to even go to the liquor store and was able to go down to the underground facilities where they doing the cloning and all that shit. And they started to realize, like, whoa, like, this shit is real. That's when Isaac Fontaine rival, another gang member, started to realize, like, damn, this shit is real. Like, they really is cloning people and trying to control the minds of our people. Like, but they didn't believe that shit at first. So that's when Fontaine, he even got to see the elder version of himself as well. Like, because the elder Fontaine was working with these people the whole time, because he thought that would be a way to stop the violence of police brutality, to stop that from happening to the people. Like, stop, basically, instead of people getting annihilated, getting killed and taken advantage of, getting killed off. Like, that's that scene where he was like, it's better for people to be put in these labs and be picked up than to be actually killed and brutalized, So he was the elder version of him was really working with them folks. So the whole time he didn't know that. So he saw the elder version of himself at the end. Fontaine, he saw the elder version of himself. He was a scientist working with these people to basically get his people put in these cloning facilities, because he rather that than them actually get actually get killed out here. And killed by police brutality, the same way they try to kill us now. But yeah, this shit run deep, man. Like, if y'all seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But towards the end, they had to bring all the gang members, all our people together, because that's really what it's gonna take at the end anyway, is unity in our people. That's the only way we're gonna put an end to all of this wicked shit that's been going on anyway. Us coming together and becoming aware of it and unifying. So towards the end, they unified, came together, and they went against Nixon and these racists and all these people and tied into this occultist shit with taking these people down here and cloning them. And they start to realize, even the gang members and all the people in the street, they start to realize, like, damn, it's really all these type of facilities down here going, like these cloning labs and all this shit going on. That's what made them turn up. Like, damn, I ain't know all this shit was going on. So yeah, at the end, they had to fight back for real and come together. And that's what it really gonna take. But yeah, man, that movie is real deep, and it educates you on a lot of shit that's really going on out here. But y'all got to tap into it and see what's going on if you haven't seen it already. It came out in 2023 last year, but it's a real deep movie letting us know what's been going on around us all this time. It's real deep, family. But if y'all seen the movie, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about it. Leave your feedback. Divine Intellect signing out. Thank y'all, family. Ashe. Love.